What's going on, everybody? And once again, this is Mr. Spann, and this is Life as I See It here on Spann TV. Thank you for checking me out yet again. And today I'm going to talk about gun control. I know I'm a bit late with this video because this actually happened a couple weeks ago, but the Supreme Court overturned the handgun ban that they had in the city of Chicago. I think the ban has been in place since 1982, so almost about 30 years now. And they basically invalidated that law, ruling it basically unconstitutional. You have a constitutional right to have a gun, and it's an extension of the previous ruling that they had in 2008 with Heller versus Washington D.C., where they also had a similar outright handgun ban within city limits. You weren't allowed to own a handgun. So basically both of those laws have been invalidated as unconstitutional. I know in Illinois, and I think it's Wisconsin also, where they still don't allow you're still not allowed to carry the gun on your person. Each law is, in each state the laws are a bit different. But I know here in Michigan, where I'm licensed to carry my pistol, with me and in my car. Some other states also reciprocate that, and I'm also able to carry in those states. I wouldn't be able to carry in Illinois or Wisconsin either. But what I want to get to with this is, I watch a lot of the videos about gun control, and I watch, I pay attention to a lot of the opinion that goes on about this, about the subject, because it is a typically polarizing issue. A lot of people, there are a lot of people that just believes, nobody should have a gun. And then there are others that, like myself, who believe it's my right to have one. I should be able to have one and use it to protect myself, use it to protect my home, use it to protect my property. So you're going to get, passion arguments on both sides of the issue, especially when someone has lost somebody due to someone wrongfully using their firearm, and then those who have used their firearm to protect their home, their property, and their family. But usually what I've noticed though is that when I see these arguments, I always notice how some on the right, and mind you, I'm saying some, because not all, but some on the right tend to think that it's a left-leaning argument to want to have gun control. And they always point at, I've seen a lot of videos where they talk about Barack Obama wants to take your guns away. As a matter of fact, when Barack Obama was elected president, gun sales and ammunition sales went through the roof because people were under the assumption, or they were under the fear, that Barack Obama and Eric Holder, the Attorney General, wanted to take your guns away from you. Now, I've seen, a few videos of Barack Obama talking about his position on it. I haven't seen him say once where he wanted to take your guns from you. I've heard him say he wants common sense gun control laws, which is pretty much what some Republicans have been asking for, and they've been asking for them for quite some time. And you very seldom hear about how Republicans have also tried to, throw in gun control as a way to unarm the people. You always hear the Democrats always trying to unarm the people, but there were also some pretty prominent Republicans that were also guilty of that same charge as well. One of the first things that come to my mind when you talk about gun control is Ronald Reagan, Republican governor of California, who also goes on to become like one of the Republican heroes when he became president throughout the 80s, when he signed the Milford Act of 1967. And the Milford Act of 1967, what that particular act did was it kept a person from carrying their firearm in their vehicle or on their person, and if they did have it, the gun had to be unloaded. And that law is still in effect today in California. And the funny thing about that is that that's a Republican president, that's a Republican governor, and the impetus for that law was because the Black Panthers at the time knew that the law stipulated that they could carry their firearms loaded. And the Black Panthers used to go out on patrols and actually sort of police the police in black communities. And they watched the police carrying out their duties. And once the police found out that you had this band of black men walking around with shotguns that were loaded and they were trained on how to use them and they were using them lawfully, they went on ahead and found it feasible to change the law. So in some instances, gun control has been a way to oppress a certain group of people, namely black folks in that instance. Another Republican president went on to ban assault weapons. A lot of people will have you believe that was Bill Clinton that had the assault weapons ban, but actually that was George Herbert Walker Bush back in 1989 that that basically banned assault weapons. We could talk about Richard Nixon, who said guns are an abomination. He said free from fear of gun owners, retaliation. He didn't want anybody to have to worry about people having guns. That was Richard Nixon. He called guns an abomination. He was also a Republican. We could talk about Mayor Rudy Giuliani, New York, and not only Mayor Rudy Giuliani, but we could talk about George Pataki in New York also. New York has some of the strictest gun laws in the country also. And those were Republican mayors and governors that instituted those laws. So when you talk about whether or not, it's the libtards, I've seen this term, used often, the libtards that were enforcing gun control. They don't want us to have any guns. They're trying to take our guns away from us. You have to look at the history of all this stuff. Don't be pulled into a political vacuum where you're not aware of what's going on, which is why I am an independent. Because there are things that the Democrats do that I don't particularly agree with. There are things that the Republicans do that I don't particularly agree with. But I'm going to agree with common sense issues on either side. So when you talk about, it being exclusively a liberal thing to want gun control, you're misinformed. You're badly misinformed. And I would suggest you actually go look into your history and follow that up. Don't just take my word for it. You can study this stuff for yourself. Follow that stuff up. But that's just my opinion on it. I find it funny how the left tends to get hit with that rap, and then I also find it funny how a lot of those laws were used to disarm black folks. Even now in Chicago with Mayor Richard Daley, I used to live in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I never once voted for Richard Daley to be mayor. And when I see him constantly talking about keeping people unarmed in their own homes and then making it hard for them to obtain firearms to protect their homes, and I've seen this man walking around with up to 4 or 5 bodyguards who you can pretty much bet and rest assured are all carrying firearms, it's a bit disingenuous to put all of these hurdles in front of people. But that's just my opinion. I look forward to hearing yours. Get back at me, send me a video response or a text response. Thank you for watching Spann TV. Talk to you guys again soon. Peace.